Yep, you read that title right. To begin, we're gonna start off with the crazy story that landed this miracle dog in the care of the Simpson family. The Christmas Miracle. It is the pilot episode of the show, right? And our prankster Bart gets a tattoo without his parents' consent, leading to Marge spending the entire family's holiday budget on getting the tattoo removed. Christmas is fast approaching and the Simpsons have zero cash. Homer also gets frustrated because his boss isn't giving employees Christmas bonuses anymore. He then takes a job at the shopping mall to earn extra cash, which doesn't even sum up to a good amount of money that could get his family Christmas presents. The Simpsons had their Christmas wishes on standby, but no money to celebrate and surprise each other, and they were all waiting for a miracle to happen. Little did they know, a miracle was about to happen. Barney Gumble provides Homer and Bart with a Greyhound racing tip that could get them cash for Christmas, and Homer buys the idea. The Greyhound Homer bets his last money on is the miracle dog, Santa's Little Helper. But sadly, Santa's Little Helper fails to perform a miracle and ends up last on the track, causing Homer to make zero money from it. Because of this failure, Santa's Little Helper gets abandoned by his owner, who sees no need for him. So, Homer and Bart bring back the dog to the family house. Then began a series of situations, scenarios, and circumstances for Fox's yellow family and their pet dog that rarely barks. Boy's best friend. Santa's Little Helper begins his stay in the Simpsons family as their pet, but unfortunately, he isn't much of an obedient dog like they expected him to be. He doesn't have a knowledge of basic commands, and this created so much havoc in the Simpsons home. He did every little nasty thing a dog would do, such as destroying home furniture, tearing newspapers, digging holes, and all of that. But Santa's Little Helper went too far when he ruined Homer's expensive assassin athletic shoes he got for $125. The family, specifically Marge and Homer, wanted to throw the poor dog out for the atrocities he had committed, but Bart, who understood what it felt like to be the black sheep, pleaded for cause, and he made a promise with Lisa to train him. However, Santa's, know what, this name is too long, so from here on out, we'll just refer to the dog as, 8. So, 8 is taken to an obedience school, which is headed by Emily Winthrop, and after so much training, Santa's 8 doesn't make any progress. Emily then advises Bart to use a choker on the dog, of which Bart abruptly refuses. Bart becomes sad as he isn't able to train the dog as he promised, and he feels he might not get to see 8 again, so he decides to play with him for one last time. And just in that moment, the dog responds to basic commands such as kneeling and greeting. Because of this act, 8 automatically becomes a graduate of the K-9 college. Even after graduating from obedience school, 8 was still kind of a disobedient dog. But this did not stop the Simpson family from showing him love. In one unforgettable canon, core moment the family showed their love to Santa's Little Helper was when he suffered from a twisting of the stomach that almost ended his life. The family didn't even have any cash, but they went all out to raise $750 for his operation, which turned out to be successful. But after the operation, the family felt that they had missed out on so much while trying to raise money for the dog's operation, and they all pour out their aggression on 8, who then feels neglected because of that. He then runs away from the family and begins his own life of adventure, only to be captured by Mr. Burns, who uses him for a crazy lab experiment, consequently transforming the innocent dog into a bloodthirsty wild animal. On the other hand, the Simpsons regret their behavior towards 8, and Bart begins to search for him throughout the neighborhood. He finds him at Mr. Burns' house, but the vicious 8 attacks him. What better way could the writer save 8 than with the power of good memories, as Bart practically saved the day by making 8 return to a loving dog. He then ends up protecting Bart from other vicious victims of Mr. Burns' experiments and returns to his home, where the Simpsons receive him with warmth, expressing their joy of having him back. Santa's Little Helper in love. Santa's Little Helper is included in a track race by The Simpsons, and there he finds his first love, who turns out to be a female greyhound called She's the Fastest. They mate and give birth to 25 puppies. The owner of the female greyhound, Rich Texan, gives all puppies to the Simpsons, who find it difficult to manage them. Moreover, those puppies are stolen by Mr. Burns and Smithers, who intend to use their skin to make clothes. Bart thwarts his plans by performing a few tricks on the dogs, which causes Mr. Burns to reconsider his actions as he turns the dogs into champion racers rather than killing them. In Season 15, Episode 6, Today I Am a Clown, 8 must have moved on from She's the Fastest and made extra puppies with Dr. Hibbert's poodle, and as the family cannot take care of the puppies once again, they give them out to people. Regardless of his relationship status, Santa's little helper has often been seen to be bisexual. At the time, the Simpson family is watching a gay pride parade marching down Evergreen Terrace, and one of the groups marching is the Gay Dog Alliance. The marching dogs are clothed in a series of typical Camp Gay costumes, and 8, showing excitement by panting, shows an interest in several of the dogs, 3 of who flirt with him and 1 that winks at him. Homer takes the family out of the parade grounds when he notices the dog's interest in Santa's little helper. Also, despite these relationships, you'd think 8 would be a loyal dog, so tell me why he had a one-night stand with Snowball too. They even slept together on the night of New Year's Eve when they shared the doghouse. Being replaced. Bart surprisingly receives a credit card that was issued in Santa's little helper's name, which they had mistaken to be Santos L. Harper. The dog was so excited, but never received any form of appreciation from Bart. Bart goes on a shopping spree with his credit card for himself and his family. He also returns home with a new pet dog named Laddie, who soon turns out to be everyone's favorite after undergoing some sort of training. The family failed to look after Santa's little helper again. Time to pay the credit card bill has come, and Bart has no cash to pay. The debt collection agency has been on his neck, and the repo man requests that he returns the dog he bought for $1,200. But Bart gives Santa's little helper away instead of Laddie. The Simpsons are quick to move on with Laddie, except for Bart, who feels guilty for what he did and fears that something bad might happen to him. Bart misses Santa's little helper and celebrates Laddie's heroic nature after he saves the life of baby Gerald. He then gives the collie out to the Springfield police force. Bart breaks down in tears and pours out how he feels about losing 8 and how his family doesn't have any pets. After Homer's advice, Bart goes in search of 8 and finds out he was staying with a blind parishioner named Mitchell. At first, Bart visits Mitchell to beg for his dog, but he is told about the strong bond 8 has with the blind man, and he goes back home discouraged. Later at night, he comes back to steal the dog, and Mitchell calls the police when he hears suspicious movements in his house. Bart comes out telling Mitchell about wanting to take 8 back. In order to solve the case, Santa's little helper is asked to pick his owner, and he expresses his loyalty for the Simpsons as he follows Bart home. Who wouldn't? First day at school. The first day this dog stepped foot into Springfield Elementary, chaos happened. In the 19th episode of Season 5, Bart does not have any object to bring for his assignment in Springfield Elementary, so he brings Santa's little helper to school for show and tell. And Mrs. Crabapple and the entire class, except for Martin Prince, are fascinated by him. Mrs. Crabapple feeds him cookies and the class dotes on him, but they later put him away and Santa's little helper escapes by air ducts. This instance indirectly caused Principal Skinner to lose his job, but he gets his job back through the help of Bart. Celebrity status. Not only has 8 been a family dog, he has also enjoyed celebrity status. In older Yeller Belly, the treehouse gets destroyed in a fight. The Amish rebuilds it, but gets the wiring wrong. The building catches fire and everyone leaves safely except Homer, and Santa's little helper does not save him despite being there. Rather, Snowball 2 saves and scratches him so he can regain his consciousness. Snowball becomes Homer's new hero, and 8 tries to beg Homer for forgiveness, but Homer is hellbent on not forgiving or taking him back. He goes further to deny Santa's little helper in an interview session with Kent Brockman.
I have no dog.
Santa's little helper is all alone and flips an empty can of beer to drink its remains, and a Springfield reporter takes a picture of him doing so, and that became the apex of Santa's little helper's celebrity life as he becomes the new Suds McDuff and face of Duff Beer. Hearing this, his former helper, who dumped him since the pilot episode, comes to claim him when he hears about his popularity, and Homer, on the other hand, wants to prove to the public that 8 is a coward. He pretends to be drowning in the river, meanwhile he is floating on a keg of beer so 8 can save him. As 8 sees the shark, he becomes scared and runs away. That's how his famous crown is taken away from him as the face of Duff Beer. In future episodes, Santa's little helper is seen to make up for his cowardly behavior to Homer as he saves him from a corn maze. He gets enrolled in the Springfield Police Academy, becoming a dedicated police dog who frowns at injustice. He also saves Bart from an accident his new pet, the African rock python, has caused in Springfield that left him, Bart, unconscious. PTSD. Santa's little helper gets irritated by sight, sound, and smell, lacking affection, and doesn't react much to the things going on around him during the Simpsons Christmas celebration. Lisa then prescribes that a seminar from the psychologist Elaine Wolf will help with Santa's little helper's PTSD. She explains that his sense of smell could be tied to his core memories. Marge tries to reach out to a Santa hat SLH is obsessed with, but the dog ends up attacking her in the process. Bart sleeps with SLH that night, and the next day, they take him to a quack vet who wants to kill him. He calls the police, and Chief Wiggum comes to their house with a dog exterminator close behind, and just in time, Wolf appears at the door saying that she has had a revelation and wants to save him. She takes SLH to a therapy institute where she converses with him. She believes that the event causing his PTSD is traceable to how he was brought up, and she sets out to find his origin. At the no-kill kennel, dog trainer Les Moore tells the story of how he took Santa's little helper from his mother, She Biscuit, because he ran to her so quickly. The family is outraged, but their hearts are quickly warmed when mother and child reunite. The Simpsons adopt She Biscuit to provide SLH with a happily ever after family life with his mom. The future. Santa's little helper is quite a unique species, as he has been shown to still be alive 30 years in the future as a highly evolved canine with a large cerebellum, and as a creature stitched together out of pieces of both him and Snowball 5, in which form he is known as Santa's little hybrid. Santa's little helper is very much alive, healthy, and strong. Also, he still remains a loyal member of the Simpsons family. And that's it for the timeline of Santa's little helper. Keep on watching the show to know what will happen next in his future life, or if you find that time consuming, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this that will make it easy and interesting for you. Please like this video and share it with your friends. See you in the next one.